This home is selling for well under 200K, and I got another one to show you for the low 200,000s, and it actually looks pretty nice for the price. We're in Northport, Florida. I'm gonna give you a market snapshot, ratings and reviews for the city, the whole 9 yards, but let's check out this first house. So you can see that this is like a smaller deed restricted type community. No sidewalks. There are some street lights, as you can see right there is one. And it's kind of got almost like a mobile home, like a 55 plus retirement community feel to it, but it's not mobile homes. They're actually block homes. And as you can see, it's pretty well maintained. It's actually got some updates throughout the interior of the home, and it looks like the paint is new-ish. And I do like the color scheme. You got, you know, that beachy feel. And as we go through the home, I'll tell you a little bit more about Northport, which does have a pretty good price point. And when we give you the market snapshot in house number 2, you'll definitely see that there are some options in the area. And it does look like the windows are a little older. So at this price point, we're gonna have to give up a little bit of square footage and a little bit of, you know, certain things like the windows being updated. But you can see right away when you enter, you do have a pretty nice sized living room space here. And around the corner, there's actually another really good space. So between the two, you've got a little chunk of living dining room space. And this being a smaller footprint home, I do feel like they made the most of it. You actually get the square footage where you would want it, and it doesn't feel as small as it is. It's under 1,000 square feet, but that's also why, again, we're getting into that price point under $200,000, well under for the list price. And again, in this market, getting it less than that list price is a possibility. Now, here's one of maybe the bigger pros slash cons. You can see from your back patio lanai, you got a gas station there, you know, some cars going through, some businesses. So it would put you in walking distance of some things and close to a lot of conveniences, but I know a lot of people wouldn't want to be sitting right in front of those sorts of things. I guess leave a comment, let us know what you think about that. But again, that kind of gets, you know, incorporated into that price point. So this, I believe, is a dining room space. Seems like it anyway to me. And in here, you do got a little bit of a closet space. And the bathroom setup in here is really unique. So real quick first, let me show you just what's in here in case you are curious. It's just your air handler. And then this is what's unique. So you got a half bath here. So it's basically I think they listed it as a 1.5 bath, but you got this 1/2 bath here with a linen closet, and you do got some nice, you know, solid shelving in there. It's actually metal, but it's not the typical, you know, like what you see in a lot of Florida, just the little wire. So then this is your shower, but as you can see, you can separate that with this door. And then over here, you got another door that separates it from the other half bath, giving you your 1.5 baths. So an interesting setup. It looks like, I can't tell what's going on with like the sinks in the bathrooms, like if they're newer or not. If they're not, they're in really good shape. The vanity looks a little more dated as far as the cabinet itself, but the sink, I can't really tell. The fixture does look maybe older, but again, everything looks like it's in really good shape. Looks like they got some new paint in here, some new flooring, and like even like little touches in here, you can see like that's definitely older, you know, some of the fixtures in the tub, but then that looks newer, which is, you know, pretty easy, cheap fix, but still, it's nice to get some of those touches, especially again at our price point. And then, and actually, I don't even know how new this flooring is the more I look at it. It looks new-ish. It doesn't look really old. It looks like it's in really good shape, but I don't think it is brand new. Actually, yeah, no, I can see right here, there's a little bit of damage. So definitely not brand new, but overall in good shape. This would be one of your bedrooms. So that would get you access to one of the half baths. And then the other half bath, I believe, is more of just kind of like, you know, the common bath that everyone can kind of use. And this would be sort of like your primary suite. So you do kind of get your own both bathroom slash shower, but the shower is somewhat shared, I guess you could say, because of that Jack and Jill 1.5 bath situation, which is different. I kind of like it though. I guess leave a comment, let me know what you think. So that would be bedroom number 1 that we just are leaving now. And this is bedroom number 2. So this would be your guest bedroom. Now to tell you a little bit more about Northport and where we're located, this is what's interesting. We're located on the end of Northport, which has a little more infrastructure. There's a little more sidewalks, street lights, and it's a little more of the established end. There's quite a bit of businesses here. We're just off of Tamiami Trail. Hello. And also being on this end puts you closer to Welland Park, which is interesting. So a lot of the stuff on this end is going to tend to be older, but because of that, it brings the price point down, and it also, you know, since it's on the end where more of the older homes are, puts you closer to Welland Park and their downtown, which is essentially Northport's downtown. So in some ways, it's kind of nice because you can get a lot quicker access to that. You're talking like a 5 to 10 minute drive, maybe 15 tops, like with a lot of traffic. So then now coming out of that bedroom, we're back right to the main area that we came from before. This would be like that dining room / living room, however you see fit to use it area. And then here's the kitchen. Now this is a 2-bed, 1.5 bath, 912 square foot home. It's listed at $186,000. It recently had a 2K price drop. It was built in 1978 and it's been on the market 146 days. So definitely the possibility to get a deal here. And I guess you could say that for a lot of Northport. As we'll get into the market snapshot on house 2, you'll see that. It looks like the counters are probably updated. If not, they're just pretty nice counters and in good condition. Cabinets, it looks like they put some new handles on, but definitely the cabinets themselves look a little older. You got the window here again, which you can kind of see the gas station and all that. So maybe not the best views necessarily, but again, it's kind of cool to be so close to some amenities. There's some restaurants nearby. There's a really good pizza place that we've gotten pizza from nearby. By the way, we do serve this area basically everywhere from Sarasota down to the Port Charlotte, Englewood area. If you are looking to buy or sell a home, get a hold of our team. We also serve the Orlando Metro as well. And you can call, text, or email us at 941-221-1897 at any time. We've helped a lot of people move to Florida, and we'd love to help you too, and sell homes for that matter. And if you're looking to buy or sell anywhere else in Florida or the United States for that matter, you can click the link in the description. That'll get connected with a realtor in the area that you're looking for, and as an expert in that area, that doesn't cost you anything extra. But either getting a hold of us or clicking that link is a good way to support the channel if you're finding these videos helpful, so we can keep making them for you. So this, I think, is interesting and unique. At the price point, I do not think this is a very bad garage. Realistically, I mean, so you got some shelving on the side, you got shelving on the other side. It's definitely big enough for a car. Maybe, man, you might be able to squeeze 2 shorter cars. I mean, it would be a pain getting one in and one out if you needed the one that was in the back. But the amount of size you're getting out of a quote-unquote one-car garage is pretty good here. Plus all the storage with the shelves there. Plus at the back would be your laundry area. You can see they got the hookups, and your water heaters also out here, which is good to see. Good spot for that. And so your dryer would go to right about here, leaving that open for more storage space. And then adding the shelving in here, I think is a great amount of storage space considering the size of the home. And your attic access is right there. And I do like that they got a fan in here in case you maybe would want to do a workout or something in here, or just, if you're working out here, maybe doing some woodworking or something along those lines, working on a car. Good way to keep it cool. But real quick, I'll take you back to the lanai just to give you a little better sense for what it feels like back there. And then we will go to house number 2 and give you the market snapshot, ratings and reviews for Northport on the whole 9 yards. And here is the backyard area. So you do get a little bit of yard space. And this isn't like a busy road here, but as you can see behind the gas station, that would be Tamiami Trail where the cars are moving back there. That is a busier road. So you're not right on the busy road, but you got quick access to it, and post office as well. You can see all the postal trucks there. Let's check out the second home. Okay, house number 2 you can see is an older part of Northport. It is not an HOA. Now, both this and the last place, one thing we should mention is they actually have city water and sewer, which you're not gonna get in a lot of Northport. But as you can see, there are sidewalks and street lights here as well. And again, for not being in an HOA, it's a nice perk. But you can see it's an older community and, not super regulated like an HOA community would be, which could be a pro or a con depending on your personal opinion on that situation. Now, there's a lot of differences, but some similarities with this home. So the last one was deed restricted. This is not. This one, you can see you've got some palm trees, decent sized front yard, not huge, but when you add in the sidewalk and things like that, it's overall a lot. It just doesn't seem maybe as big because of the sidewalk. And Just like the last home, you do got older windows on this home, but that also helps make the price point a little bit lower. The flooring in here looks, I would say, newer than the last one. Now, I'm not gonna say it's brand new, because the last one I thought it was, but it was maybe not quite. And this looks like it's maybe not quite new as well, but pretty new. Now, this was a flip for sure. I like some of the updates they made in it. And it's got some of that character and charm that I like of the older homes, with some of the newer touches that you just don't get from a brand new home a lot of times. For example, these spindles. I like it. I don't know. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about some of these things, if you like them or not. But just like the last one, there's two things that are very similar. Air handler in a closet like this that's up above. You have also got that same bathroom setup, but it looks like the sinks are a little more updated. But you've got a half bath here with the door. And then you've got a linen right here. And it's actually a metal door. And then another door to separate the tub area. And then from this tub area, which this looks again like the last one, like the fixtures have not been updated. The last one did have a newer shower head, but that's a pretty cheap and easy fix that just about anyone can do. And then you've got another door separating it, this time a pocket door, which I love pocket doors, good space saver. And that separates it from the other half bath. So another like Jack and Jill situation. And then this one, again, newer vanity. It looks like the actual vanity itself, the cabinet, is a little more upgraded than the other, and the sink is pretty much the same. And then this would make your primary, which again is separated by another pocket door. So again, you're getting kind of your own primary bathroom with the shared tub area. And I guess if you want to do, you could leave the door open and share the toilet area as well. Pretty good size primary, a little bigger than the last one. Like the last one, it was like, you know, like a larger typical, you know, what you would see from a guest size room. It was like that with a little extra, you know, but this feels actually a little more like an actual primary, a little more size here. And even though it is an older window, I gotta say, I like how big it is. Just lets on a lot of natural light. And then you got a closet, pretty decent size. Again, a metal door, which you can probably hear. And then it's kind of interesting how the layout goes, because that kind of wraps around, and you can see here, you can go back to the kitchen, living room areas. But you got another bedroom here. And to tell you a little more about Northport, it is overall a quieter area. We often describe it as rural suburban. This is the one section that feels a little more like an actual city compared to a lot of Northport, unless you're including Welland Park, which is technically Northport. That's definitely more of your, you know, planned community suburban type feel. But most of Northport's got that rural suburban feel. This area does not quite. And you're going to get a lower price point than Venice, which is where we live and is nearby. And again, if you want to buy or sell a home in any of those areas, basically from Sarasota down to Port Charlotte, Englewood, of course, Northport, we can help you. But in Northport, you're going to save money because you're not right by the beach, but you actually got pretty quick access to the beach. So that's definitely a perk. You know, you're talking about, depending on what end of town you're on, this end, you could probably get to the beaches in about 25, 30 minutes, maybe 20. Depending on, you know, what time of year, how much traffic, all that sort of stuff. And again, as I mentioned before, you're pretty close to Welland Park. Now, with being that close to Venice, you are getting access to a lot of things to do. The fishing pier, the jetty, the beaches. You know, you can find shark's teeth on the beaches. There's a dog beach. There's, you know, with the fishing pier, there's Sharkies there for tropical drinks. And then Northport itself actually has a pretty decent restaurant scene, pretty good shopping scene as far as big box store stuff goes. And then you're also not very far as well from Englewood, which they've got their own beaches with their own downtown, and across from the beach, it's got a kind of downtown feel. So you're getting access to a lot of things really close by, especially being on this end of Northport. Like, we often describe Welland Park as being awesome because it kind of connects Northport, Englewood, and Venice. Well, here you're kind of similar in that regard. You're just a little bit further away from Welland Park. So you're not quite in the center of all those areas, but you're really close to that. And if you want some more big city stuff to do, Sarasota is about a 35 to 45, maybe 50-minute drive, depending on what you're trying to get to and what end of town you're on. But great to have access to all those things. I gotta say, I like this light here. It's kind of fun. There's one flickering though, and I can't figure out where it's coming from, so apologies for the lighting. Another loud metal sliding door, bifold door, but got some more shelving in here. So here's where some of the more clear flip stuff happens once we get into this space here. So to tell you about this home, it is a 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,151 square foot home. It's listed for $212,000. It actually just had a 10K price drop recently, and it was built in 1977. It's been on the market for 180 days. So I'll give you the market snapshot in just a second here, but that kind of shows you that there's a possibility to maybe get a deal here. Now, I gotta say, I like the mix of old and new here. I think this was done pretty well overall. There's one thing I'm not so sure about, which I'll get into in a second, but I like the glass cabinets here, the sort of unique woodwork, and then that continues in this cabinet here. And I like how it's kind of almost like a little island, but it's not because it goes all the way to the ceiling. I like the updated counters. Again, those spindles I think are a nice touch of that old school charm. Cabinets look like they're older, but they put some newer handles on them. This would be where your fridge would go. Got some shelving there. And I love on both sides, they got the awesome hexagon backsplash. Anytime I see hexagons, I'm pretty excited. I'm not gonna lie. Now, this is the interesting part. For some reason, I usually like these look dated to me, but for some reason it kind of works for me here. These little spaceship lights. We had a client once describe these as looking like a spaceship. I don't know what else you would call it. There's probably a technical term for it, but it's definitely from, you know, that 70s area. But then there's also a mirror. So I don't know, it's just kind of quirky, and I don't know, I'm here for it. So we'll take you back to this little back area here, which was a converted lanai in a second, but let's check out the garage, and then we'll give you your market snapshot and ratings and reviews for Northport. So you can see the garage is, again, a one-car garage, actually probably smaller than the last one, not quite as long, and maybe not quite as wide, definitely not as long. Definitely could get a full car in here though, and a little extra space. And then on top of that, and I'm saying extra space up to, like, you know, here before this step. And then with the step here, you got a little extra space both this way back towards us, but also side to side. You've got your, like the last one, hookups out here for your washer dryer and water heater in the corner, leaving a little space for storage in the corner here. And you could definitely come all the way out to this step here, and then maybe even a little past that. So not bad overall with the garage space. Now, your market snapshot. The median sale price in Northport at the time of filming this is $370,000, which definitely sits lower than a lot of Florida. And as you can see with some of the homes in this video, there's a lot of possibilities to get something well below that price point. The months of supply is 6.8 months, which definitely is high-ish, I would say pretty high, and definitely puts things in a buyer's market territory, which is reflected in the average sale to list ratio. Basically, right now it's 97.1%, so like whatever a place is listed, you could probably get it for 97.1% of that price. This area I think is great. How they can, I'm pretty sure this is a converted lanai. I like how they kind of have it open yet semi-enclosed, giving it a defined feel, but still open to the rest of the home. And it's just a great bonus space to have that is air conditioned, you know, whereas if it was lanai, it would not be, but you still are getting a lanai over here, which I'll take you to. But let's get into the ratings and reviews for Northport to give you a better sense for what it's like living here. Northport gets 3.5 stars out of 281 reviews and an overall grade of a B+ on niche. Public schools get an A-, housing B, good for families B+, jobs B+, cost of living B, outdoor activities A-, crime and safety C+, nightlife B, diversity B+, weather A, health and fitness B+, commute B-. So that's one thing too about Northport, whereas, you know, it depends on the area you're in and things of that nature, but generally the traffic I would say is manageable compared to, you know, other more hustling, bustling parts of Florida. And again, pretty much all your shopping needs are handled here. So it's kind of nice to have that balance. And then, you know, if you want more stuff to do, you're about a 15 to 25 minute, maybe 30-minute drive to, you know, more big city amenities, beaches, things along those lines. So it's a nice balance. You can save on your home and be a little more inland and reduce, you know, a little bit of the hurricane risk by being a little bit more insulated. And for a lot of people, that's why they choose Northport, and they want that kind of quieter lifestyle. But I think this is one of the other big perks of this home is right here. Not only do you have an extremely large backyard, especially for being in a city, and even for Northport standards, which generally you get a little bigger yard space than a lot of other areas nearby, like Venice and, you know, some of the other cities like Sarasota as well. But this is also fenced in. So a really good open space. You could definitely fit a pool back here. You could just leave it open like this. And you know, especially if you have dogs, just great to have a big open fenced in area. Gotta love that about it. Hey, are you looking to buy or sell a home anywhere from Sarasota down to the Port Charlotte, Englewood area, or anywhere in the entire Orlando metro? Get a hold of our team, 941-221-1897. We've helped a lot of people both buy and sell homes in those areas, and we'd love to help you too. If you're looking to buy or sell anywhere else in Florida or the entire United States for that matter, click the link in the description, answer a few questions. We'll get you connected with a realtor in the area that you're looking for, and that is an expert in those areas, just like we're an expert in these areas. Clicking that link doesn't cost you anything extra, but getting a hold of us or clicking that link is a good way to support the channel so we can keep making you videos like this if you're finding them helpful. And if you want to see another video like this with home tours, a market snapshot, ratings and reviews for a city and the whole 9 yards, check out this video right here. We know you're going to love it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in that video next.